Hi, so I'm a headhunter specialized in sustainable development. So I think the market is booming. I really saw a change 3 years ago, I must say. I think things are getting more professionalized and more specialized. So it means as well in terms of requirements of soft skills and hard skills, things are getting stronger. Now the market is booming, but we come from a very, very low market, and it has nothing to do, for example, like for the digital market, I would say.
And just for context as well, Caroline, you've been working on this market specifically for about 8 years, I think you told me, so you have quite a lot of experience already, which is really good. Anyone wants to add anything? Maybe.
Hi, thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be before you today. Actually, I think we have a great chance today in the job market and in careers of impact, because we have the most educated and the most committed generation coming into the job market. And actually it's about youth and how can youth actually change internally all the system or creating a new one. So I think we are, as you said, Caroline, there is a booming sector about the economy sociale et solidaire and green businesses and so on. But I think that the real chance is to have the most prepared and most ready to go generation that it's going to actually change really things.
Yes, Matthieu.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Yes, to add things on Borna, I think people today are looking for meaning, sense, impact on their life, and especially on their working life. So we conducted a survey with Ticket for Change, and we discovered something amazing. 94% of the French population is willing to have a positive impact on social and environmental topics, problems. 94% are willing to do that. Only 20% of them are doing things, concretely are doing things. And only 6% of French people are using their job to change things, to tackle social and environmental problems. So there is a huge gap between willing to and taking action. And however, work is an amazing opportunity to create the world we want to live in, because every one of us will work around 80,000 hours in our lives. 80,000 hours in our life. So it's a major amount of time. It's a huge opportunity to make a difference. So more and more today, there is this opportunity of using careers with impact. And it's a historic change, I think, because previously, in the 20, 30 last years, there was a separation. You had the working life and the personal life. And engagement was for the evenings, for the weekends. So you have your serious life, you're working, and after that, you are nice and you help people. And now, you can do both. For the first time in history, there are many more jobs where you can be paid by changing the world. So you can have an impact and be paid for doing that. So it's a major opportunity. There is a huge demand in terms of talent, and there is this possibility, and it's really new, I think.
Yeah, people often I agree with all of that. People make generalizations about generations, and this generation Z is in a really critical moment, in a really exciting moment, I think, for impact. What we're learning is that they are extremely prioritizing a career of meaning, fulfillment, and things like salary, things like benefits, all of that are important, but less important, studies are telling us, than in previous generations. So it's an opportune time because we have plenty of challenges to be solved, and there's no need for this generation to wait. There are opportunities that we can leverage with technologies to engage them now, and there's a certain urgency that we do that.
Fantastic. I was just going to add 2 things. One of them was around, you work with more kind of younger generation, right? Borna? But we also have observed that kind of there is this generation that has kind of, we say sometimes, inverted commas, made it in their careers, and they are also looking to change. So we have observed that, there is that younger generation, but there is actually the kind of the growing population that also kind of had enough of doing things that don't make any sense or any meaning to their lives. So that's quite good. And then one thing that you said, and with my co-founder here, Michael, who is sitting at the front, we try to celebrate a lot each other because it's one thing that we humans sometimes don't do enough. So if you take and you mentioned about the 20%, right? So 20% of people actually take action. And so you guys are part of the 20%. So if you don't mind, just turn next to your pal next to you and just give them a tap on the shoulder and say, well done, please. Yeah. Well done. Keep going, right? And then remember, when you don't have anyone and you're feeling not very well about trying to change the world and not, getting anywhere, just go and do it yourself. Well done. Yeah. Perfect. So the next question I had, just trying to move into kind of clients, right? And I tend to tell to people that are trying to find careers and start the career in impact or career with impact and change into social impact or social organizations, profit, non-for-profit, that you have to understand your customer, right? Your client, which is the company that's going to hire you, if we're talking about specific about careers, right? So to be able to understand them, as an entrepreneur, normally you try to understand your users and you say, okay, what are their pains, right? So from an entrepreneur mindset, I was thinking to ask you, what are the pains that you observe that your clients are having in terms of generic or specifically around recruitment and trying to find amazing talent or talent that care about what they do?
Well, I come from a background of education, 20 years in education. I think the answer, how I would approach that in education is very similar in careers, that this idea of sitting down and just receiving information and routine is one that we need to move away from, both in the workplace and in schools, that the active learning, the collaborative learning, a lot of the social, emotional, deeper, harder learning is something that needs to happen in the workplace as well. And I think that's what talent is really looking for, is those opportunities where they're going to continue to learn, to grow, to be challenged, to evolve. And that's exciting that we have a generation that is approaching it in that entrepreneurial mindset.
So I must say something. My customers, who are mainly companies, they are not looking for activists who want to change the world. Of course, you need to be willing to change the world. Of course, you need to be convinced. Of course, you need to have values. But companies, they need a professional who can conduct the change. So it means you need to have a combination of soft skills and hard skills, very strong. You need to be courageous because you don't always deliver nice messages. You need to be persistent because it takes time. It's difficult to conduct the change. You need to be able to work with short-term and long-term. You need to know everything about the companies. You need to know everything about the complexity of the environment. So those people don't exist. Those perfect people don't exist. So my job is to work with my customers to identify talents who have some of those skills and who have the potential to work on those skills.
Okay. So just to I'm going to try to help you summarize because I already got stressed when you say all of the stuff that you need to know, right? So it's about, if I apologize, but it's basically adaptability, right? And the adaptability to and kind of attitude to learning and capacity to learn and adapt.
So it's adaptability, it's ability to learn, but you can't arrive with the attitude of an activist like, I'm going to change the world. It doesn't work like this. So you need to feel it, of course, but you need to understand how to adapt your skills to the company to be really useful.
You can be an activist, but you have to be a realist.
Yeah, I think it's also a matter of not only attracting talents, which is, of course, it's one of the biggest challenges for any kind of company, from a SME, a startup of 5 people, to a big conglomerate of 20,000 people. So I mean, a different scale, of course. But I think also maybe the biggest challenge is not just attracting, because there is kind of common, I would say, features about the reputation, about the culture of the company that somebody actually can today, through the common information that you can find on web, you can make your own idea about the company you are going to integrate. The real challenge, in my opinion, is how do you retain talent? Mm-hmm. And actually, this is the turning point, because nowadays, and I wouldn't speak for the Generation Z because I'm not, so they are going to tell us what they think, but the trend is, again, not staying, of course, a long time within a company. Today, the average is staying 3-4 years and then changing. So the point is, why people do change their job, why do they leave some companies, and which is in most of the case something normal, because we are just tired about one job, and we have the tendency to change and have new challenges. But within a company strategy, whether again you are a startup or a big company, corporate, it's about culture. It's about how do you actually engage and give and provide them with the good amount of personal and professional fulfillment, and how do actually I can see my impact, which is direct or indirect, because I mean many companies, of course, they don't work all in ecology or in an environment, but there are several indicators that can help understand how a company is doing, and actually how people are not only happy at work, but how actually they can engage themselves through their own tasks, everyday tasks, and have an impact for themselves at first, feeling well, and then knowing that, great, we are a group of people, we are a group of engaged people that through the company can actually arrive to the purpose that the mission of the company is addressing to.
Okay. I think to attract and to retain the best talents, in fact, the companies must have a real mission. Not a mission for the communication, for their website, but a mission that helps to build the strategy and to take decision. But real societal missions. So it's all the development of the benefit corporation, the entreprise à mission, etc. But really, it's really important because people today, talents, have the choice. They can go in this company or in this company when they have proven talents, and they will choose the companies with a real mission. This is the first thing. And the second thing, I think, for the employers, so companies know they have to reinvent their business model. And of course, there is the economic side, but also the social and environmental side. And today, I think the companies are looking for people who know how to understand and speak the different languages, the language of business, the language of social, the language of environment, and mix it and introduce it in the corporate world, but they have to speak and understand the 3 different languages. This is where is the 21st century value.
Thank you. So if I have to summarize that a little bit, just so that I get it in my head. So it's a bit of education, internal education within the companies. It's about understanding the mission, clear mission that actually helps build the culture, right? And now I lost it, so I'm not sure if everyone follow all that advice that we gave, right? So just remind us again, Caroline, the last execution and adaptability. Look at that.
No, but so I think what Matthieu explains about entreprise à mission, it makes sense. Companies have to change. However, talents, they need to understand as well that you can't be an activist, and that there are skills to learn how to conduct the change. And it is very tough as well.
And what we find is that, sorry, I'm a bit confused with the time, so if you look, make me find me looking around, it's because I'm looking at something there. But what we find is we have kind of 80% of people, as you were saying, like so 3 years, I think is the average. We found that people hold a job. If you're a startup, you are changing quite a lot. So sometimes you are good for one stage of the company, not for the other one. And we have also that 80% of people actually are not actively looking for jobs. So it's quite interesting. So if you are a person that wants to plan your career and create a strategy, you have to be proactive around kind of who you want to work in the future. So I thought I just mentioned that as well. It's not all about just trying to find that role that last minute when you're desperate. And we talk as well a lot about transitioning, finding transitional strategies to, work with organizations and in the roles that you want to work with. I am going to ask you kind of a double question now, which is going to bring us towards the end of the. I don't want you to feel shortchanged, but the previous panel was a bit running over time, so I think that I'm just going to double check. How long do we have? Just now. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Now. So the last one is just to give you a quick opportunity just to tell us about each one of your organizations, right? And like that one, I say, golden nugget advice that you have for anyone here trying to get a career with positive impact.
Yeah, so Z School is named for this generation, born 2000 and after, and it is very much what we've been talking about, giving young people an opportunity to take their strengths and their passions and to use those in a real-world context. So specifically connecting with impact organizations. They can be nonprofit or for-profit, but really this is experiential learning at its finest and very much constructive in terms of the work that's being done and not passive. And so we're developing bridges really between the private, the public, for-profit, nonprofit, and most especially this generation, which I really do believe is going to be one of the most important generations in history.
Thank you, Craig.
So I would say if you want to do a career with impact, so that's great. So never listen to people who say there is no opportunity in that area. So have some dreams. Be courageous because it's a tough way. Be persistent. Develop your network. Never stop learning. Never stop reading. And have some fun in what you do.
If you want to develop a career with impact, my advice should be first find role models, find people who inspire you and who show you that this is possible, and they will show you the path. They will show you the way to create your own dream job. This is the first thing. The second is know yourself. Self-awareness, I think, is the most important thing. So know what you love. Really, what gives you energy. Know what you are good at. Know where you make the difference, and know what are the cause that you really care about. What do you want to change in the world? And then you will find how you can be paid for that. I think this is really important. And if Ticket for Change can help you to do that, we have different tools around this. So really know yourself, and the third advice should be take action. Just decide that you want to begin. Begin today. Use 10 minutes of your time to start. Send an email to someone to meet these people. Start your research, etc. Start now, 10 minutes, and tomorrow 10 minutes, and the day after 15 minutes, and the day after 20 minutes. Make it an habit, and you will find it at the end.
That was 3 for the price of 1. And last but not least again, Borna.
Yeah, I mean, our job at Pixis, it's about fighting the inequalities, the huge inequalities today in the access of youth to a qualified information about jobs and degrees. Because we found out that if people just don't know that opportunities exist, you simply don't think about. And so the first thing is how you provide this information people with. And so at Pixis, we have developed a kind of path through inspiration to build aspirations. And this is really important. So we collect a huge amount of data, inspiring content like articles and videos, raising awareness on the Sustainable Development Goals. And this is why I'm wearing the pin of the SDGs, because nobody knows them, or at least a huge minority of people. And so how can we actually create the citizens, the change makers of the future, is actually in the schools. It's going on field, and this is what you do very, very well, Matthieu, going on the field, creating a momentum within the places where we are building the new citizens of the 21st century. And this is schools, high schools, universities. And we have been really trying for 2 years today to provide a way to help students say and answer the question, what I'm going to do after high school, what's the job I'm looking for? Well, I would add, ask yourself, what's the role I want to play in the 21st century? And ask yourself, how can I engage in my own community, in my own family at first, in my community, and then in your country or the world, and you will find this mission. But, and also to maybe to conclude, yes. Because we were speaking about youth, and about the vision we do have about the future of jobs, of work, I would maybe suggest, and we have been working for 2 days with more than 60 students, yes. Asking them, what do you think about the future of the work? And how do you envisage your role about the future? So maybe, JP, I would just suggest to invite some of our friends, students to come and testimony.
We're really, really pushing it, but let's keep pushing. There it is.
Yeah, it's Garance, Sanja, and Arthur, please.
Hello, everyone. So the three of us today represent a group of students that has been assisting to the conference. We all come from different backgrounds, so either engineers, marketers, or business majors. And I guess we can all agree that our generation was born being aware of all the sustainability issues. So we grew up learning about the impact that we can have on either environment or the society. So the reason we came here today was to learn about innovative ways of having a positive impact on our planet.
And so we may want to ask us the questions, what did you learn about all that? So we gathered in a room yesterday and we did a brainstorm, a workshop, and we came up with two main ideas. The first one is that we have one planet. It's not a surprise, but we have one planet, so we have to educate people. We have to educate new generations and also old generations. That's very important. And we have to be conscious that we have limited resources and that we have to be responsible in everything that we do. And the second idea is basically to change mindsets. We saw a lot of conference about mobility, about fashion, about finance and everything. And we had all the idea that we have to not to transform the systems, but to create new ones. So that's what we came up with mainly.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you for providing us the opportunity to express ourselves. So yeah, what we came up with, it's like we want more than a job. We want more than a career. We want to have a project in life, something that provides us with meanings, like something we want to make an impact. And yes, we can be professional too. We can be some person, we can be an actor of change. And thank you. And it's very encouraging to see all these startups and all these environments that provide us like a dynamic to make something bigger. But I think that outside of this bubble here, there is a lot of people that, you know, they don't particularly share the ideas of sustainable development. So that's why it's important. You were talking about connections, making connection with people, like talking with them, like the people that share your values, and like going forward into the path that with people that goes with your values. It's very important to be here, to be acting, to believe in yourself, and you're right. Like we need to do something that it's inside, like the stomach. They were talking about the stomach. Yes, of course, that's exactly what we want to work on. So when we are asked, like, what do you want to do for jobs? Like we are like, well, we don't really know, but we want to serve a higher purpose. We want to make this world something better, and it's by listening to the little voice. You know, sometimes you're in a group and there is a person that has something to say, and listen to this person, because sometimes that's where you can find new perspective, you can find inspiration. And by talking to a diverse group, diverse individuals, that's where you find the inspiration to go forward and to make your ideas more than more than just an utopia, but it's more like a reality. And that's why we're here today. We are not a lot, but we believe that we can teach and we can live our life by these values. So thank you again.
Thank you.
So they have reset my clock there, so I think I have another couple of minutes, but I'm just going to actually give you some time back. The best gift I can give you, right? Time. And the one advice I have, and I'm going to throw one here in terms of the best action you can take to actually get into a career with impact is go to realchanges.com and sign up. Sorry. But the truth is, you know, I'm really, really grateful for you guys that you're doing what you're doing. We know we are enablers of this system, of this new system of change. We are enablers for the entrepreneurs, for the new generations to actually get access and to get visibility and awareness. We are enablers for the investors that are behind all of us and all these wonderful people and companies and that actually fund and pay for, you know, our salaries and our livelihoods. So I thank you, all of you, you for your time, and for everything that we're doing. So yeah, big thank you. And yes, please let's connect with each other and let's collaborate and let's keep making change now.